So good to be the king. ah, this Florida weather is good for my skin. Sadly, it's overcast right now, but it's still great. I want to be the pirate king. Oh man. Oh, what are we talking about again? What are we talking about today? Let me see here. We're talking about the. Oh, we're talking about the Miami Dolphins. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We're continuing our deep dive in the NFL as the draft approaches, and at least the hat is good. We're talking about the Dolphins. So Miami, to be frank with you guys, how do I say this politely? I don't know. Miami's. I have lived in Florida a lot of my life. My family is military, so we moved almost every few years. And I have lived in Orlando. I have lived in Tampa. I have lived in Miami. I have lived more places in Florida than anywhere else I have moved to. And I have moved all the way up to Providence, Rhode Island. But I did not get into football until later in my life, like basically when I was 10, 11 years old. And since I lived in Miami, the Dolphins, Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, the Dolphins were everywhere. But for whatever reason, I was aware of the Dolphins, but I was not a fan of the Dolphins. For reasons I don't know. And then when my family moved to Tampa, I became a fan of Warren Sapp. And that led to the Buccaneers fixation that I have today. So maybe, I don't know, if one of the Dolphins went to the same saltwater aquarium my family went to, maybe I would be a Dolphin fan, which means I will be more annoyed and more pissed off than ever before. At least in Tampa, we won 2 rings in my lifetime. But as a Dolphin fan, the joke is kind of getting old that they have not found any stability at quarterback since Dan Marino, to the point where I'm having a hard time defending it because it's becoming more and more real and it's becoming more and more outrageous that I can't deny it, and I can't say, no, you did. Because the one guy I keep going to is Jay Fiedler, and I think Dolphin fans are trying to get pissed off at me. Because I kept thinking, no, Jay Fiedler, he was good. And then look at his stats, you're thinking, no, he really wasn't. And then when they got Ricky Williams, I know that's kind of a sore subject for a Dolphin fan when they got Ricky Williams. But you got Ricky Williams. And for a short time, and I mean really short, like a puff gone pass, I thought it. Plus, I still like Ricky Williams in a Dolphin uniform. Those highlights, the way he looked with the visor, it still has that intimidation factor. So that's still fantastic. And then you got Hall of Famers like Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor. Some went on to go, Dancing with the Stars for sure. So after all that, we're here and we have Tua, which I'm going to be honest with you, I am on the cusp that we may need to have an intervention with Tua Tagovailoa and say, dude, Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind, but I need you to go home. I am really scared for your future past football. I have never been so like I want you to quit your dreams right now that I am right now with Tua, because I'm afraid that he's going to get hit and he won't get up. That's how I feel. His story is phenomenal in Alabama, and even the time he does in Miami. But Tyreek Hill is not happy with Miami. Waddle is probably going to be waddled away as a trade casualty. And I feel like the Dolphins fan base, we need to start looking for a new quarterback. Dolphins, I had you at 10-7. At worst case, 7-10. I really thought the Dolphins were going to do something this year. He ended up being 8-9, and honestly, that's just right in the middle between the two. That's like the nice sweet spot between the two. And this team does feel like an 8-9 team. Injuries plagued the pass rush department. The performance of some of the players did not reach the expectation they were. Tua is scary to watch, and hopefully you're holding your breath not because of a mistake, but because you might get hit. And some of the hits you're thinking, that did it. So to me, this is more of a Miami. I'm on the I you might need to prepare for a new quarterback sooner rather than later. Now, it's gonna be this year, probably not, but I don't think Tua is gonna be around for much longer. And I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying that few more hits, man, and I'm literally gonna put a protest outside the Dolphins stand and be like, send Tua home for his sake. Send Tua home for his sake. Your best game. For some gloom and doom. Week 10 at Los Angeles. That to me is your best game. For all honestly, because like I said, a lot of these best games have a very thick, big dose of hindsight into it. But let's be real. When it came to the Dolphins and the Rams, I think a lot of us felt more confident in the Rams in any capacity. And the game was not, like, yeah. It was more like a, uh-huh. That happened. Okay. I mean, looking at the stats, nothing really too crazy. Time possession thing, very much identical. I think the biggest factor would happen to be, just how much the Rams just felt like we don't know who we are, and the Dolphins just said, well, if you don't know who you are, then we're just going to take from you what we want, and then we're going to call it a day. So, yeah. So, just want to let you guys know that. And looking at it, looking at the stats right now, I mean, Tua didn't really do anything, just over 200 yards. Waddle had less than 60 yards. And Arcane had less than 40. So it wasn't really anything special. It was really the defense of Miami that just kept harassing the Rams, drive after drive, and it just got them at the best possible time. And quite frankly, that sometime, happens in football games. Sometimes you may have all the best, but one mistake here and there is just enough to turn the tide in the team's favor. It's the Dolphins' best game because the opponent went on to become way more superior than we expected, so a lot of it has a big case of hindsight into it. Performance-wise for the Dolphins, nothing really to write home about. This is another game where I will say, don't cheer too loud. Cheer, but not too loud. Your worst game took place a few weeks later in week 15 at Houston. This was kind of a game in the sense of Miami, if you want to be serious about your playoff hopes, you really got to win this game. No pressure. No pressure. And I watched the game, and even I was like, the Texans are not really kicking the Dolphins' ass. And the Dolphins are not really fighting back, really. This was a game that felt more of, this is basically what the Dolphins have became to be. They look good, they have good players, but the recipe is not mixing together. And honestly, it would have been best if we just didn't show up. I'm sorry. It would have been better if we just, phone it in. I mean, like I said, CJ Stroud wasn't great either. That's where I kind of felt like, the Dolphins probably tried. They should have and probably would have stolen this win from Houston. Would that have to turn their season around? I mean, you would have had a winning season. But even then, that winning season would have been like a fake. You would have been a little bit like, oh, that. Yeah. That sucks. Really bad. Sucking. So it's the worst game because you kind of felt like, dude, the Texans are not trying. Take advantage of it. And you didn't. And quite frankly, I think it was just a last of, who cares? I'm not saying the players quit. I'm just saying that it was just a case of this season has been very long, and I sure, sure. Your MVP for the Dolphins. This was another case where I had a hard time to feel any sense of like yes. And am I really gonna do another mulligan on recording while I'm doing this video? No one really looked great. I mean, Tyreek Hill would have been obviously my number one choice, but Tyreek Hill didn't even have 1,000 yards. And Tyreek Hill is 100% unsatisfied. Oh my god, not 100%. He's clearly not happy with Miami. And this was a good gentleman that years ago he said that he's going to play until he finishes contract in Miami and then he's done. And honestly, sure. And not to mention this year we had a very black mark on his Dolphin time with the arrests and the police and all that, and the debate that follows. So it was kind of like maybe not the most positive Tyreek Hill seasons as a Dolphin. Tua Tagovailoa got injured. So this is a game where I'm doing it again. Dolphins, I'm giving it to your fans. I'm giving it to the fans again. I am retyping it right now on my notes, and the Dolphins fans do it. The Miami Heat is borderline hellfire. Okay? And I have lived in Florida in the summertime, and August is basically as if the devil is giving you the middle finger, thinking it's gonna get cooler. Not yet. So for the fans to go out there and get sunburned, dehydrated, because they know they drink beer, they like beer, I like beer, you like beer, I still like beer, are going to go out there in the Miami Heat, and if their team wins, yes, great success. If they don't, man, my head hurts right now because the team lost and I drank too many beers, so I have a very massive headache. Also, I have to drive. Okay, I just kind of promoted DUI here, but I'm not driving. I'm bringing it to give my wife here, because in this scenario, I have a wife here. Because Dolphin fans always have wives, man or girl. Everyone has someone to take care of them. So I'm giving the fan base, in the same regard I gave to the Jets, as in, you guys are better than the Jets, but I'm not gonna go around and be like, we're better than the Jets and put that as a banner on the wall. I'm just going to say, we're better than the Jets, but not by much. So that will lead to the grade. The grade for the Dolphins season, better luck next time. 8-9 record. If Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins play like they did in the past with their dynamic offense, scoring nearly 50 points a game, they probably would have been a 10-win team and probably would have gone to the playoffs with a little bit more confidence this time around. Plus, Tua would have been hurt for the playoff game. So to me, this is better luck next time. Now, the next time, I'm not very confident for what next time means, because I'm not saying that means next year. I mean, better luck next time, maybe 2027, maybe. Better luck, maybe. Your draft picks for the coming up, I'm mixed. I'm mixed for the Dolphins because there's a small part where I'm like, get the best available player, protect Tua, get a pass rush for that defense that somehow just feels like it still is not working because the players keep getting hurt, so therefore it hinders the process. I got Banks from Texas, the offensive guard tackle hybrid. I got Starks from UGA, and I got Amon Membo. I hope I pronounce his name right. The tackle for Mizzou. So I got players really to be like, we need to protect Tua from who? Himself. And then the part where I'm like, we need our defense better. Why? So Tua doesn't have to kill himself to help us win games. And then there's a small part of me thinking, maybe we need to be ballsy and make a massive trade. Do we trade Tyreek Hill for draft picks? Do we trade up to get a player? What do we do? That's why I'm feeling the Dolphins. Will they do it? I don't know. But if the draft time comes and the Dolphins trade up to like the top 10 pick in the draft, I'd be like, I just kind of saw it coming. So that's the Miami Dolphins draft capital. We'll see what they do, but Dolphins fans, I'm sorry, man. It's just, I get your pain, but we need to protect Tua from himself. So we come down to the end. Next time we talk will be about the Buffalo Bills as they once again didn't do it. But Josh Allen was MVP, so that's something positive we can take. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.